Funding for this program provided in part by the Sanibel Captiva Chamber of Commerce and by the Tween Waters Inn.
Hello everyone, I'm Bob Fagan and welcome to Painting on Location. Now I'm trying to find out where these fish houses are. I need to paint a picture of them. Excuse me. You wouldn't happen to know where the fish house, excuse me. You wouldn't happen to know where the fish house is, would you? Hello? What do you think? Isn't that great? Now that's an old fish house. I don't know if they fished from the house or they kept fish in there. I think they kept fish in there with ice or something like that, but that's really a mighty pretty spot here. Nice composition, nice weather, nice place. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. What I'm gonna do first is the sky. I'm gonna put some of those clouds in back there. So I'll just get started, jump into some of this blue, a little bit of French blue there, a little bit of phthalo blue, and I'll put a little bit of burnt sienna with that. It's kind of a gray sky back there. I want to paint around that roof for right now. Just get that mixed up and just start slopping that stuff on there, just like that. Big old brush. More paint. As long as it doesn't drip, I'll be fine. A little more color. More blue, more brown. A little bit of water. I want to paint right up to that roof. I love painting things like this. They're kind of rickety looking, you know, and you don't have to do any real straight lines. You can just kind of make it all nice and crooked. And then I'm going to come back behind there, like that. And I'll just go ahead and paint down into the water. Plus, I'm going to go ahead and paint over this wooden structure here, too, because that's all going to be darker. Nice dark blue color. Right down in there. Paint over my beach, because that's nice and white. All right. I think what I'm going to have to do at this point, though, is I'm going to have to let all this dry before I come back and start working on the house. So I'll do that right now. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, we're back and it's nice and dry, so I'm going to go ahead and start chipping away at this house. What I want to do first is put the shadowed part in. So I'm back into that same blue I used on the sky. Add a little bit more burnt sienna to that. That's that French blue right there, and then this burnt sienna. I'm going to make it fairly dark. Now the sun's kind of coming in and out of clouds right now, so it's going to change on me once in a while. In this little tin roof here, there's some cracks and stuff in there, and the light's kind of shining down. I'll put some of that in first, like that. And then come back and paint right up to that roof. Straight down this way, all the way back here. And then there's a little post right in here someplace. So I'm going to paint around that. Right in here. Except I went down too far, but that's okay. That shadow comes down about 3/4 way down, and then all the way back here. Something kind of like that. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in there because that kind of takes on a kind of a greenish cast from the water. A little bit over here. All right. Now in the back, I'm going to paint that little, that's a cistern they call it. It's a place where they kept fresh water that came, they don't have any fresh water out here, so the water runs off the roof into that little tank, and that's what they use for water. Some of the same blue and brown right in here. Just a shape. A little bit more blue. Come down one side here and put a little bit of a shadow on that. All right. Now I'm going to start getting into some of the darks on the structure underneath. Just basically this blue and brown, and it's got a little bit of green in it. I'm going to paint the whole thing. I'm going to try to leave a couple of little holes there that show the water behind there. Just a bunch of shapes. Down here. Back up here. Well, this is going to dry lighter, hopefully. Then I can come back in there and put more detail in it. And there's some that come down here, go across here, here. Just a bunch of substructure underneath there. A bunch of pilings and stuff. It looks like it's been built up over the years. I imagine it has to stand quite a bit of wind. back here, here, and here. All right. Now I'm going to go, if you notice right underneath that, all that structure, you can see the color of the water, which is quite, if you squint your eyes, it's almost the same color as a lot of this up in here. So I'll go ahead and paint that now. I'll paint it right up to that beach there. All right, mix up some blue, a little bit of that phthalo green there, and some yellow. Now I'm going to paint the water at the same time by shaking it like this, because it kind of makes some shaking motion. There. And just paint all of this. Right up to that beach. So you're actually painting two things at once here. You're painting the beach and the water. Right out in here. All right. That'll be good for the first go around there. All right, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to let all of it dry, and then I'll come back and start making more detail in those timbers over there. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right, we're back, and it's pretty well dry. First thing I want to do before I start on these pylons is go back into the shadow again and see if I can't make those doors and windows, of course there's not actually a window, they get them covered up, but I want to make those a little bit lighter. So to do that, I need to go back in there again and make that shadow just a little bit darker. So I'm mixing up some French blue here. Let's try that. Just come back over here. Paint up to that door, down the other side. Over here. Back here. Put just a little bit more color back in there. Right in here. All right. Well, that kind of lightens those up just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to get into that some more detail here in those pylons. This will give me a chance to paint around some of those lighter colored pieces of wood over there by painting behind them. So what I'll do is I'll just come in and start painting around things, like here, here, showing some darker shapes. And there's some back in here. It's going to come down behind there and then go back down into the water. Same back here. See how that makes those front ones show up? Just kind of indicate some of those. There's one there, and then back here. Same over here, back up here. Paint those steps. Same back over here. Just kind of painting around things. Put a little bit of rust up there on that tin roof. Get a little bit of burnt sienna. Run it down this way. A little bit of blue. Now, I was kind of hoping that that roof was going to turn white on me because of the way this direction the sun's going, but it doesn't appear that it's going to do that. So I need to go back in there and make it just a little bit darker than what it is. So I'll do that now. I'm going to paint kind of the same direction the roof goes. All the way down here. I think I'll throw a little rust on that side too. And let's see, back over here. A couple of posts over there. Put those in. Those are in the shade. And then we have another post back here. It's partially in the shade too. Big old pilings, I guess you'd call them. And that comes up behind that house right there. Then we have another one over here. It's kind of, this one's kind of pink. Right in here. All right. All right, I'm going to get into the beets now. My big brush for this. Mix up a little bit of blue in this. Just kind of want a little bit of variation in here. And I'm going to come in and put some of this grass in. Some yellow and some blue. Right in here. Kind of let that mix into that water area there. This whole island we're standing on right now is made out of seashells. It's just amazing. Show some blades of grass, or whatever that stuff is. It's not grass. Now when that dries, I can come back in there and put a little bit more detail. Right now I'm going to clean out a clean spot here on my palette. Get out my sponge, because I want to get back into the sky again. See if I can paint a few clouds to make it a little bit more interesting up there. Mix up some of this blue. Both of them, the French blue and this phthalo blue here. All right, now as you can see, they're just kind of scattered out there. So I'll just come up here like this, pick a spot, kind of shake my brush around like that. And let's see, let's come back down here. See, that's a very light wash. Put some more water in that. Don't want to spend a lot of time up there. Back down here. Now, as the sky gets lower in the horizon, it starts taking on a little bit of pink. So I want to put a little bit of red in there. At the same time, I'm painting clouds. I don't know if you can see that or not. Right back in here. Try not to disturb that paint that I've already put down. But right back in there, right in here. I'm also going to be going back over this into this water area again too. In fact, I think I'm going to bring that all the way down, that pink, because I see it in the water too. Sometimes it's hard to see those colors. If you try to analyze them, they go away. They do for me, so I just kind of glance over, and whatever color I see is usually the one I pick. I try not to say, well, now that couldn't possibly be a color like that over there. All right. Let me go back up in here and wet some of this area. All right, what I'm going to do is let all this dry, and then I'll come back and put a few finishing touches on it, and I should be pretty well done, and then I want to hit the water. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right, I'm back and it's nice and dry. What I want to do right now is I want to go back and put that water in just a little bit darker now. So I'll mix up some of this phthalo blue, a little bit of phthalo green in there. All right, I'm going to have to kind of paint around things again. All right, let's see, I'll come all the way back across here. That, and then kind of bring all that down. And I'm going to start putting some waves in there now. Show a little bit of the sky. And a little bit over here. That goes right back behind here. And here. Something like that. Now while I've got that, I'm going to come over here and make some variation in this grassy area. This is kind of a dry brush. Just enough to show that there's weeds or whatever these things are called here, this beach grass stuff. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, just a little bit of that in there. Maybe a few splatters. Yeah, it's always fun. I like to do this and I get it on the cameraman. Right in here. All right. Now I want to add a bird up here. Some of that same color. Now there goes one right now. So he won't hold still for me, so I'll just make him up. Something like that. Back up here. All right, now I'm just going to go back in and kind of put a few cracks and some boards to show what it's made from. Down this way. Back here, they don't have to be perfectly straight. Some dark lines. Give it a little bit of texture. A few of those over here. Some around the window, door cracks, stuff. Back in here, a few more birds. What else? It's hard to know when to stop sometime. Board there. There's a shadow over here or something. Well, I think I'm pretty well done with this one. We had a great time here today. The crew's kind of like, come on, Bob, let's go swimming. So I'm going to stop for now, and we're on to the next location. I have no idea what it's going to be. So until I see you there, I'm Bob Fagan, and we've been painting on location.
This program is available on video for just $17.95 or $179.95 for the whole 13-part Sanibel Captiva series. Also, Bob has produced 3 one-hour instructional videos on the art of watercolor painting. Each one is available for $19.95 or $36.95 for your choice of 2, or all 3 for $54.95. Call 1-800-353-2232 to order.
Are we done? Jeff? Okay. Yeah. All right, burn it up. I'm out of here.